Houston, we have a problem. I have a lot of images to show you guys here. I've went out in the real world, in the real economy the past 24 hours. And what I want to show you, I'm going to show you some photos around Las Vegas. It is, we're in a recession. There's not even like a question. We are 100% in a recession right now. These images I have to show you guys here today of being out there in the real world and the real economy is downright scary, okay? And all these have come in the past 24 hours. Yesterday on Friday night, I went out into the real world and grabbed some photos. Today, I grabbed some photos on Saturday, and it's startling. That's all I can say about that. It's so bad, okay? I hope you guys enjoy me kind of going to the real world and getting you guys some of this information and things like that, and showing you kind of what's going on here. I appreciate you guys joining me, even when it's very bad news like I have to share in this video. So, went to what's called Fashion Show Mall, which is the most popular mall here in Vegas. I went there last night, and it was interesting how much of a difference that mall is versus this same time last year. One, far less busy. But the second thing was not just like less people in it, but I'm watching people walk around with nothing in their hands. It's like, this is like window shopping. So it's like people bored looking for something to do. So let's go walk around the mall, but not actually buying anything. And so I'm looking at this and I'm like, where's everybody spending the money at? Like people literally just walking, maybe with a drink in their hand or something like that, but not actually spending any money. If we rewind a year ago and you went to that mall, people are like walking around with bag after bag after bag in their hands. Like there wasn't window shopping going on around. There was like real shopping. Okay. This was crazy to me. I start coming up upon the Louis Vuitton store. This store has had basically a line for the last 2 years. They have these ropes and you have to go through a line and you have to like sign in to go into the Louis Vuitton store and whatnot. Well, those days are long gone, folks. Those days are long gone. I go by this Louis Vuitton store and I look in there and there's like a couple of people like window shopping in there. The workers in there look kind of bored, kind of looking like, can you please come in and buy something? The stimulus money's gone. There's a whole lot of window shopping, and even the window shopping's not very much now. And what a difference. What a difference in 12 months. What a difference. Even in 6 months, what a difference. But it's just crazy to see, they couldn't, those workers would look at you last year and like, oh, great, I got to sell another $4,000 bag to somebody. Now it's like, can you please come in and spend some money, right? Look at this photo of an Apple store here, okay? Look at this. This is a massive Apple store they have there. This Apple store was dead, just completely dead. By the way, look at this mall. This is on a Friday night. You got to be kidding me. Like, this mall is always crazy busy. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, this mall's packed, okay? Jam-packed. And this is like a ghost town. I mean, complete ghost town. And this mall, by the way, is straight across from Wynn and Encore, for those that aren't familiar with the Strip, and kind of almost like kitty corner to the Palazzo and Treasure Island's next door and whatnot. But, I mean, just dead. Just completely dead. Apple store dead. And you know what else I was noticing is I was noticing how many fewer workers there were at these stores because they're not doing volume. So I guarantee you what's happening is Apple's, I would almost guarantee you they're cutting hours. And I know you guys saw in the press release a couple of weeks ago, Apple's raising, how much they're going to pay some of their store employees and things like that. I almost guarantee you Apple is cutting store employee hours left and right now, because I'm looking at how many employees were in this massive Apple store. And I was like, that's not very many, because at the end of the day, as a retailer, right? Like if you're not doing the numbers, if you don't have those customers coming in, you start cutting hours, you start sending, as a manager of a retail store, you start sending people home early and things like that. And I'm looking out there and I'm like, there's not as many people working at that Louis store as there once was. There's not nearly as many people working at this Apple store as there was last year. And that's the way it is, right? That's the way retail goes. I keep walking in this mall. I look at the California Pizza Kitchen. I'm like, oh my gosh, here it is. It's like dinner time. And I'm looking at this place and it's just like, there's no one sitting out there. And last year at this time, man, all these tables were full. All the tables inside were full. Place was jam-packed on a Friday night. Give me a break. And it's just like, where is everybody? Like, where are people not spending the money? There's like a Johnny Rockets right across, which Johnny Rockets is not an expensive place, obviously, if anybody knows about that. I look at this Johnny Rockets across. There are 3 workers in the Johnny Rockets, like 2 cooks and then obviously like a person that works the front register or whatever, just standing there just BSing because they literally had no customers. Like there were literally no customers, 0 customers at the Johnny Rockets. And this is like dinner hour. And they're just all standing there just looking around like, just BSing and whatnot because they got nothing to do. I'm like, holy smokes, man. I mean, it's insane to see and see how fast this is all playing out essentially, okay? I went to Dick's Sporting Goods, this massive Dick's Sporting Goods. Look at some of these photos I took at this Dick's Sporting Goods. This place was a ghost town. I mean, a complete ghost town. I think I had 2 photos, but I guess I only accidentally put in 1 here. But I mean, it's just, there was like no one at this store. And all these stores are going to have to cut hours. They're going to have to cut hours. Now, this next image I'm going to show you is quite interesting because now I'm starting to see this happen. And I'm starting to see this happen massively now. So what happened in a store I went into was pretty darn shocking. Look at this, okay? So it has been a long time, like at least a couple years now, since people were starting to discount all their stuff. I went into a store that I like to shop at sometimes. Everything in the store was on sale. Everything had 25% off, 30% off, 15% off, 50% off in this store. And it's funny because, there was these kind of younger kids like next to me that were buying some stuff. And the guy at the register is ringing up and he's like, oh, you just saved, $30 in this. Oh, you saved $100 total, right? And I think honestly that kid would have paid like literally full price. Like he didn't even really like care. Like it was a discount, but it's just, that's how desperate these retailers are that they're like getting pressure from the top. Like, hey, we got a discount. Put it 25% off, put it 30% off, put it 40% off. And it's crazy because literally a year ago, even 6 months ago, but especially like a year ago, 2 years ago, no one was doing sales. No one was giving you 25% off, 30% off, 50% off. Heck no, okay? Heck no. And it's already starting, right? Because these retailers are like, dude, we're gonna do whatever it takes to try to move some dang product here, okay? So that was quite interesting. I drove by the Planet last night. I didn't grab any photos, but I didn't tell you, the Planet was not busy like the Planet used to be busy. It wasn't even close, okay? It was busy for somebody in their space, I guess you can say. But the thing is, a Planet is in their like own criteria, in their own category, essentially, where they do these crazy volumes. And I can tell you, they're not doing nearly it's not as nearly as busy as it was the previous summer or even in summer 2020. That's the craziest part. Even in summer 2020, I saw the lines at the Planet at that time. I saw how busy the parking lot was. I saw how many Uber cars were going in there and taxis and how busy the parking lot was in summer of 2020 and summer of 2021. And I go there now and I'm like, nah, it's not happening the way it once was. It's like, oh yeah, it's busy compared to other guys, but it's not busy compared to itself, which is the most important thing when you're competing in that space. It's like looking at an Apple store and being like, hey, there's 10 customers in there, but it's like, well, if there's usually like 30 customers in there, it's not good. And if you compare it to some other, retailer, then maybe 10 customers is good, but for Apple, that's not good, right? And so, but the only good news is with the Planet, the stock's been hit like it's in a recession. It's like $1 a share now. But yeah, it's not busy like it once was. I can tell you that. So then today, I had to drive to Henderson to get a few things. And then I was driving back to Summerlin. I was like, let me just drive down the strip. Okay. So I'm like, I'll spend an extra, I got some time to spend here. I'll go, it's going to take me 20, 30 minutes to get from one end of the strip down to the other end, from the south end to the north end where wind's at and whatnot. And so I drive down the strip and it was quite interesting what I saw. One, it looks busy because the strip always looks busy. I remember the first time I ever came to Vegas, it was 2009. I wasn't even 21 years old, okay? Came with my brother and my mom. And we stayed at the Rio. And I can tell you, even in 2009, the strip it seemed busy to me, right? Because that's just like, no matter what, there's going to be a lot of people there. So it's always going to seem busy to you. But there was something very interesting. I'm watching everybody walk down the strip, as always. It's, one of the biggest tourist places in the world, right? And, international destination. I'm watching everybody walk down the strip. Hundreds of people, thousands of people. And what I noticed is no one had bags in their hands. All these, I'm telling you, for the last year or two, everybody that was on the strip did crazy shopping. The Louis bags, the Prada, the Gucci, all these different name brands that are on the strip. Nah, there was no one walking with bags in their hands in the strip. And that just shows you that people might still be coming, and paying for base minimums, like, to get out of the house or do something like that and, fly or drive in. But they got like no money to actually spend when they're here. Maybe like the wealthiest of the wealthiest people do. But the fact is, like, most of the people that come to the strip are not the wealthiest of the wealthiest people. That's like maybe the VIPs at the Wynn and the Palazzo and the Bellagio and maybe Cosmo. But most people that come to the strip are not that. They're middle class folks, right? And I'm telling you, and it's like these people are lucky to have a water cup in their hands. And I'm like, what a difference over a year ago or 2 years ago. And that's what you have going on right now. And I'm just like, okay. It got scarier because then I was like, well, then I witnessed a car accident, unfortunately, and I had to make sure that people were okay. And thankfully, everybody was okay in that whole situation. Airbags were deployed and everybody was good, but that was kind of scary to see. But from there, I drove over to Best Buy in Summerlin. And what I saw at the Best Buy in Summerlin was shocking. And this is the nicest area Best Buy is in all of Las Vegas. Everybody that shops at this Best Buy is like pretty much upper middle class or, even like people with a lot of money. And so what I saw at this Best Buy was, to be quite frank, shocking. Going to this Best Buy, this place was a ghost town. I mean, a complete ghost town. I'm like, are you guys going out of business? What's going on here, man? This is Best Buy on a Saturday? Like, if there's one day Best Buy should be packed, it's a Saturday, okay? And I go into this Best Buy and I'm like, where are the humans? There's like a few workers around. I can guarantee you Best Buy's got to be cutting hours left and right the last month or two, and they're probably going to cut a lot more. And I'm just like, where are the customers? Where are the customers? It was the bad part was the only customers I saw were in the return line, returning stuff. I'm like, oh boy, okay. You guys going to stay in business? Look at this photo here. I mean, literally, there's like no humans. I'm like, what? And this is, once again, this is a Best Buy that's in the nicest area you can possibly imagine. And this Best Buy is like probably, I would guess one of the top Best Buys in the whole area, if not the busiest in terms of, sales volume and things like that. I'm just like, where is everybody, man? Like, where is everybody? And, it's just kind of like starting to see, and it makes you think, like, how bad are other Best Buys out there? I go to the electronics section. I want to check up on Corsair Gaming, and it's very clear Best Buy is keeping very low inventories on all their products and things like that, which, kind of makes sense because if you're not doing big sales numbers, what do you want to load up on products? Okay. If anything, you want to run really lean inventory right now and maybe, buy up a little bit before Christmas time, something like that. But I'm telling you, they're keeping inventories very light and low, at least on, I saw it on almost everything, but at least on a lot of this type of stuff. So a stock like I own, Corsair Gaming, the Best Buy is running really lean inventories right now, which is not good for Corsair's short-term numbers. However, whenever things do pick up, whenever that is, obviously, there's going to have to be a lot to be filled here nonetheless, because Best Buy is like running like one item, 2 items at a time, things like that. And, even running with some outs and things like that right now, right? Look at the outs and outs and outs. So they're running inventories extremely, extremely lean right now. Something is still selling good. Thank goodness is food. The one good thing is, you can't eat a gaming mouse and you can't eat a Louis Vuitton bag, but you got to eat food. So I can tell you the one thing that still does move is, the chef. Okay. The chef and Oatly, that no matter what, those babies will move. Now, in all seriousness, guys, here's the situation. I have this up for you for a reason here. Okay. These are the newest numbers just came out. Less than 20% of investors are bullish on the market for the next 6 months. And 58% are bearish. So basically a triple up is bearish than bullish. So we're in this real pickle in the market right now. And, in the economy, I don't see a good way out of this economy for the next 6 to 12 months, if not 6 to 18 months. Okay. The financial markets will start bouncing back way before the economy starts to bounce back. That's the good news. That's how it always plays out. But in terms of the bad economic news, I think we're still kind of in the first inning of like the bad economic news comes out. So this is why I kind of view this, and I've told everybody, like, I got like a 6 to 18 month, and we all have like a 6 to 18 month window here in front of ourselves to add assets as incredibly as possible, get your hand on as much money as possible, get your incomes up, get second jobs, third jobs, do whatever you got to do in the short term to have max income to invest. Because I think we got a 6 to 18 month window here where you can add. The market won't go up in a straight line, I can tell you that. When the market does start to turn, it will be a slow, steady rise is what I see playing out here. But based upon what I'm seeing in the economy, we got a lot of bad economic numbers to hit. There's going to be a lot of hours cut. There's going to be a lot of jobs lost over the next 6 months, in my opinion. That's all going to come out and hit the news wires. So, we're going to have a bit. We're going to have a bit to add. We're not going to have forever, but we got about, like I said, I think minimum 6 months to add, potentially 18 months to add before we start going up again, right? And then we got to always remember, once you start that up cycle, you got to continue to buy into that essentially. And you can't just like stop because it's like, oh, Dow was at 20,000 and now it's at 22,000. I can't buy anymore. No, you got to keep buying into that sort of market. Okay. So, yeah, man, I wish I had better news for you guys in regards to the economy, but I can tell you it's not getting pretty. And just wait till home construction starts to dry up at the end of this year and into 23. A lot of construction jobs are going to be lost. A lot of people's wages in that industry is going to go down massively. And home builders are going to be on a full-on panic within honestly like 3 to 6 months. Home builders are going to be in panic because all their new orders are not going to come in. And they're going to be in a situation where they're trying to just fill these last orders here. And then they're looking at backlogs in 23 that are going to be just not there. And that's going to be devastating to these home builders and the construction companies because we have mortgage rates now that are over 6% on a 30-year and probably on their way to 7 or 8%. And in a much worsening economy and consumer confidence at all-time lows, literally in history, that it does not bode well for the real estate market, the construction market, which is, in my opinion, the most important industry in the United States of America by a lot because of how much goes into a home, right? And like those new homes just aren't being built next year. And that's going to lead to a lot of problems. And then it's also going to lead to prices declining in the real estate market. That's going to become a whole mess and probably even send consumer confidence to even lower levels, which is scary to think because we're already literally at all-time lows on consumer confidence as it is, guys. So yeah, I'm trying to keep you guys up to date with what's going on out there, whether it's good news or bad news. I don't like to share bad news. Damn it. When we got to share bad news and I got to tell you that the economy is not in a good place, I got to come out and say it, man. I got to tell you what I see. I don't want to sugarcoat it and be like, everything's great. Nothing to see here, guys. Nah, that's not what I'm seeing, man. Just out there in the real world. And it's important to get out there in the real world. You can look at these government numbers they give you and things like that. But when you go into a Best Buy on a Saturday and there's a ghost town, you got problems, okay? And it's going to get worse before it gets better. Much love as always. I appreciate you guys joining me. Don't forget to subscribe and have a great day.